What is up, guys? Randomonium here. We're going to be taking a look at Neeko, the Curious Chameleon, which is a new champion that Riot's coming out with for League of Legends. So I'll go through basically the reveal. I'll go through all the champion abilities. I'll go through her actual numbers. And then I'll talk about potentially where I think she could be played and, you know, her relative strength and things like that. Obviously, this is all speculative and hypothetical, so I really won't know how good she is until I get my hands on her. But yeah, so we'll go over all of that. I also want to basically also tell you guys that I have some green chromas for program Leblanc. So if you would like a exclusive green chroma for program Leblanc, so it gives you the base skin and the green chroma, I'll be doing a giveaway for that. The way that you can enter for that, for those chromas, I will discuss at the end of this video. So you can basically have to watch the video or skip to the end to figure out what those are. But hopefully you guys actually watch the video. So let's real quick go through the her reveal trailer real fast.
Ooh, pretty colors. Neeko likes this shape. Careful! Why are you sad, friend? You have powerful legs, like warrior or sand flea. You make a funny face. Oh, small brain. Ooh, Neeko investigate. Stay hidden. No jumping. You are in trouble!
No time to waste!
You fell for it! It's fun to walk around in different skins. Goodbye, fake Neeko! You messed with the wrong Neeko! Next drive. Get ready.
Hubba. You are stunning and beautiful.
Ah! No flower for you!
Okay. So
Hello, nature.
that's pretty cool. Let's go through her abilities real fast. We'll get into the actual the scaling, because the numbers are what's really important, at least from my perspective. So passive, Neeko can disguise herself to appear as an allied champion, damaging or taking damage from enemy champions, or casting either Blooming Burst or Tangle Bar, breaks the illusion and increases the cooldown. This is already very, very powerful, because what that means is that in the late game, if you've got somebody who is a high priority target, like a Kog'Maw or a Vayne or a Twitch or, you know, another really fed champion, either a mid laner or AD carry, or most likely, you basically can create a duplicate of that, and the enemy team has a 50-50 shot on which one is the right one for engage purposes, because usually you have to engage and eliminate that target extremely quickly. So this definitely is extremely powerful late game team fighting. I don't think it's going to be hard to make it very useful in the early and the mid game, but especially in the late game, I could see this being extremely overpowered. It also could be very good if you disguise yourself as one of the engaged champions and you try and kind of approach from one direction, and you can actually zone people into another direction, which allows your engaged champion to engage on them and start the fight. Let's see what the Q. The Blooming Burst. So Neeko propels a seed to the target area, which blooms and damages enemies. If the burst kills an enemy or damages a champion or large monster, it will bloom again up to 2 times. So really important there is that it says if it damages a champion or a large monster. So that does give her the ability to potentially jungle And this would be basically be her primary wave clear tool if she was going to be played mid or one of the other lanes. And then it could also give her a good source of poke damage if she was playing support. Alright, her W, Shape Splitter. Passive, every third basic attack resonates with spiritual energy, dealing both magic damage and briefly increasing Neeko's movement speed. Okay, that's actually really interesting. That sounds a lot like Echo. And then active, Neeko briefly slips out of sight, becoming invisible, gaining movement speed, and sending a temporary clone of her current form sprinting in a chosen direction. So this kind of sounds similar to Wukong, except that you can actually move the clone. So that sounds pretty powerful. This could make it pretty interesting for her as far as if she gains the movement speed, that gives her a lot of chasing ability once she actually gains an advantage. So that sounds pretty good to me, personally. Tangle Barbs, Neeko slings a magical spiral in a direction, damaging and briefly rooting enemies it passes through. The last champion hit is rooted longer, and if Tangle Barb hits at least 2 enemies, it grows in size, speed, and root duration. This is really cool because it allows her to basically hit her. This looks like it's her primary CC, and she can hit it through minions, through other champions. You can't block it so like if she's playing support, your support can't block it for the AD carry. So that's actually really interesting. It actually would make it worse. If you have like the support right here and the AD carry is behind. So that's interesting. It doesn't feel like it has that much counterplay except to actually dodge it. So that's something that maybe would be against his ability, that there's not clear counterplay to it. Alright, in her R, Neeko begins charging herself with spiritual essence. A moment later, she leaps into the air, gains a shield, and slows nearby enemies. And then she releases the energy upon landing to deal massive damage and stun enemies. And that's a massive AoE. Holy cow. And when disguised by inherent glamour, which is her passive, they won't see the initial charge. Interesting. So you could basically pretend to be like a squishy AD carry. You can kind of act like a monkey and pretend like you're mispositioning all the while you're charging up your ult. The enemy team engages onto you, your ult pops, and they basically all get AoE stun. Whew, that seems pretty strong. I'm not going to really play that because I think it's pretty short if I remember correctly. We got her skins. So she got a winter theme skin and her base skin. Let's go look at her her base stats and things like that. So attack range is 550. That's a bit short. Base AD is 52, which is a bit low. AD per level is 3, which I also think is lowish. Base armor 21 is extremely low. I actually pulled up, you can see, for example, Kindred, her base armor is 29. And then if you look at like other champions, Morgana's is 25 and Diana's is 31. So she's got a really low base armor, and that makes jungle clears harder. She does have good armor scaling, so she scales pretty well, but her base armor is really low, which is going to make her first clear really hard if she decides to be in the jungle. And it's going to make her really squishy during the early levels. Base MR is 30 with MR per level of 0.5. That's pretty normal. Base HP is 540, which is low, but it's not horribly low. Yeah, I think Kindred has the same HP, and I forget if she has the 540, 601. So it looks like her scaling is actually pretty good on the HP side of things as well. HP regen 1.5. Yeah, that seems kind of low too. Interesting. Okay. It seems like her base stats are really low to me, which makes sense because her abilities all feel very strong. But because her base stats are so low, it's going to be a challenge to jungle with her. It may push her more into a support role. Obviously, I'm going to still try to jungle her if I can, because I love to jungle pretty much every champion in the game. But it looks like she could be very susceptible to invades if she tries to be a jungler. It may force her to be more of a support just based off of her base stats. Looks like her passive is a 25-second cooldown, which seems pretty fair to me. If anything, that seems a little bit low. Like, I would have expected it to be a bit higher since it's such a powerful ability. Blooming Burst Q. Decent base damage, decent AP ratio, and then if it kills or deals damage to champion or monster, it blooms again for... Okay, so that's good. Up to 2 times. So max damage it can do at level 1 is 100 and... let's see, what is that? That's 120, 140, 160. So 160 with 90% AP ratio. That's pretty damn strong. That's stronger than a lot of Diana's stuff. So that could potentially allow her to clear that first camp decently well. 260. Yeah, I mean, that's good damage. I mean, the base damage is fine. It's a fixed 7-second cooldown. Especially if you get those extra blooms off, that's decent damage. So, yeah, I actually don't mind that at all. That could make her viable in multiple lanes, because you could use it either for jungle clearing, you could use it for poke if you're playing support, or you could use it for wave clear if you're mid, as long as you use it properly to last hit the minions so you get the extra blooms. Her W every third basic attack deals 50 to 170 damage plus 60% of her AP ratio. That's pretty damn good. Like, Diana's is 20 to 250 with 80% bonus. So for a ranged champion, that's pretty good. That's better than Diana's passive level 1. Doesn't scale as well. The AP ratio isn't as good, but that gives her some pretty... that makes her pretty strong in the early game. So this actually is pretty good for her. It would help her with her jungle clear. It helps her with trading early. So it's kind of weird because she's got like really low base stats, but it looks like she has pretty damn good damage in the early game. And then the clone, she only has 0.5 seconds of invisibility, and the clone lasts 2 seconds. So for Wukong, by comparison, Wukong gets invisibility for 1.5 seconds. So the invisibility is virtually nothing. The 0.5 seconds is extremely low on the invisibility. The 2 seconds maybe could work. I think this is gonna be a real expressive skill. The movement speed is nice. The problem is that this doesn't guarantee ganks. So this makes it harder for her to be a jungler because she doesn't have a reliable way to engage, it seems like. Tangle Barb, so this is her primary CC. Deals 80 to 220 magic damage, 40% AP ratio, roots for 0.5 seconds. Last champion, the root is increased to 0.7 to 1.5. So that's actually a huge difference. So you can go from a 0.5 second root to a 1.5 second root. If you can like weave it through minions or things like that. And the Tangle becomes empowered after hitting 2 enemies, growing larger, moving faster, and rooting the last champion hit for up to 3 seconds. So that is huge. That is on par with Morgana for her root duration. So Morgana's root duration is 2 to 3, and Neeko's root duration when it's empowered is 1.8 to 3. So getting it through multiple enemies is super important. That's another way that you can kind of express your skill with Neeko. Because if you only have that 0.5 second route, that's nothing. That's not enough to really do a lot. But a 3 second route, that's a freaking lifetime. So yeah, that actually could help her with, if she combines it with the movement speed that she gains from her W, both on the active side and also the movement speed she gets from getting 3 hits, combined with the Tangle Barbs, her ganks could be decent. Still not convinced she could be really good as a jungler, because I don't know how healthy her first clear would be. She's looking more like a support to me. But she definitely has the potential to be able to jungle. She could be something like a Talia in the jungle. And then her R, which was the thing that interests me the most. 90-second cooldown, that's not that bad at all. But it's a fixed 90-second cooldown, which is kind of weird. So after 1.25 seconds, Neeko leaps into the air. She gains a shield that absorbs up to 110, 50% of her AP ratio, and up to 80 for each nearby enemy champion. Nearby enemies are slowed for 40%. When she lands, she deals up to 650 damage with 130% AP ratio and stuns enemies for 1.25 seconds. Holy cow, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. That's a huge slow. That's a big shield. That's a big stun. It's a huge AoE. Like, most of her power budget is actually in this ability. And that seems extremely powerful. The only thing that's actually keeping it balanced is the fact that she doesn't have a reliable engage. So that makes her kind of weird, because with her E and her W, she feels like a catcher, but her ultimate feels more like a peeling tool. So she kind of actually reminds me a lot of a Morgana, so I guess that would definitely make her a catcher. She's like a Morgana that doesn't have the utility of a black shield, but instead she has like more trickery stuff with her passive and her W. So that's interesting. I think she's most likely a catcher, but she could be just a specialist. She may not fall into a particular class. This is huge. Like, it's a massive AoE. It does a lot of damage. She gets a huge shield. She deals, good stun, good slow, all this stuff. Like, this is huge. Her ultimate. This kind of makes or breaks her, I feel like. And then also how long she can slow people for. So she could be a jungler. More likely support. Could potentially be a more supportive mid laner, or even a supportive top laner. She could probably be played in all possible roles. But I'd say most likely a support. Secondary could potentially be a jungler. But yeah. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys and you guys like that. If you want me to do this type of stuff for all the new champions, let me know. Obviously, Riot is reducing the number of champions they put out, so those videos won't come often. And as promised, I want to tell you guys how you guys can get a programmed Leblanc Chroma, the green Chroma, as well as the skin. So I'll give you guys 2 options. So your first option is you can, since we're right near Thanksgiving, you guys can tell me what you are thankful for. And you can be funny about it, you can be serious about it, but we all have something to be thankful for. I'm thankful every day for all the blessings that I've had with family and friends, and my career and everything, my health and this channel and all of you guys. Like, I've been extremely blessed, and I'm extremely thankful for everything that I have. So yeah, that'll be your first option. Tell me what you're thankful for on Thanksgiving. And the second option, since I am trying to get my Clash team up and running, and I'm always looking for new ideas, so the second option you guys can give me is tell me your favorite team composition. So I have my team compositions video. I recommend you watch that if you haven't already, so you can know what the types of team compositions are. It can be a funny team composition. It can be a serious one. You can even, you don't have to necessarily say something general. You can be specific and say, hey, I want this champion top lane and this champion jungle and this champion mid. So I'm definitely looking for creative suggestions for that one. And if your guys' team compositions interest me, then maybe I'll run them with my Clash team later. So those are the 2 ways that you can win a Program LeBlanc skin. Either tell me what you're thankful for or tell me what your favorite team composition is. Creativity will give you a huge bonus. Also, if you provide proof of your LeBlanc mastery, that will also give you a bonus. So you can take a screenshot of your Mastery 7 or link me your profile on one of the sites that shows your champion mastery, or link me your op.gg that shows you play a lot of LeBlanc games. And the best way to enter is actually Discord. So I've got my Discord, a link in the description below. I've got a giveaways channel within that Discord. That is the best place to post your responses, your entries for the LeBlanc skin. So I would prefer that, because if you respond to this video, a lot of times I can't contact people on YouTube because of the privacy settings on Google. So if you respond back using on the YouTube video for your entry, you got to give me like your handle on Reddit or something like that, so that I can actually get a hold of you. Don't give me your handle on League of Legends, because I may not be able to contact you that way. You got to give me something like Discord or Reddit or something like that. I know that's a little bit inconvenient, but I don't have a huge social media presence, so preferably Discord, but if necessary, you can give me your Reddit handle instead. But I hope you guys liked this. If you did, please leave a comment, please leave a like. Let me know what you want to do in the future, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. This is Randomonium signing off.